This is Solar, and Solar is the only bird in existence that was hatched using human warmth. I'm not making this shit up. My pigeon Remy sat on the egg and I held it. So it takes 2 pigeons to hatch an egg, and Remy does not have a mate. Now the egg came from one of my other pigeons, Chip, and she laid it. A lot of times pigeons will lay them and they'll drop and break, or they'll lay them, you know, they don't really know that it's coming, and then it's sort of like a human being giving birth in a taxi cab or something. It just sort of happens. So she laid a egg on a metal surface where there was no nest or anything. So I took the egg, and Remy had been sitting on unfertilized eggs for years, and I knew that she was that's my pigeon that sleeps on my pillow and stuff. I knew that she was very stable bird, that we could move the egg around, and I could just put it underneath her, and when she needed to take a break, I could hold the egg, and that's what I did. I held the egg. Now, the one thing that I do want to say is that this bird right here, Solar, that was hatched using human warmth, is probably a hybrid pigeon-human. Yes, that's right. She could end up being a superhero, and I'll tell you why. Is that when I was holding her, my hand was perspiring. It was perspiration, and there would be DNA cells in that perspiration. Yeah, that's correct. And the egg is not, you know, if I held the egg too tightly, I could suffocate Solar. The egg needs to breathe. So perspiration, DNA, probably got in that egg by osmosis. That's correct. That's right. This is a hybrid pigeon-human. Super smart. I will say this about Solar, that Solar is extremely friendly. Solar is great, very healthy. We're having no problems with anything. She was pecking at seeds on the ground. Remy showed her how to do this by day 18. She is eating some seeds. She still needs supplemental feeding, and Remy laid an egg, so Remy's sort of like disinterested. It's fine. Remy's done enough work, so I'm doing the supplemental feeding, which at this point, it would be the male pigeon that would be feeding the baby. So I held the egg as much, well, not as much as a male pigeon. Pigeons, they'll sit on it 12 hours, like the female will, and then the male will sit on it 12 hours. So I got to give Remy credit. She sat on it a lot longer than I held it. The longest that I held Solar in an egg was about 5 hours, you know. But every day I at least held the egg for 2 hours, something like that. So Remy has done an awesome job. You know, when Solar started hatching, about 36 hours before Solar hatched, I stopped holding it, because you want the bird to get in position. So from that point on, Remy did so much work. I mean, absolutely so much work. And then Solar came out of the egg about the size, you could have fit Solar in a teaspoon. That's how small Solar was. This is not an exaggeration. Solar's wing was so small. Okay, picture a plastic fork, like the fork part. Now break that fork part in half. You know, I was just amazed. Like Remy was like stimulating the bird and everything, putting her little wing in, you know, her mouth, in Remy's mouth and everything. It was crazy. I was like, oh my God, I can't even watch this. You know, I can't believe it worked. I'll be honest with you. And we started doing it, and I'm like, I don't know if this is going to work. So I started getting on the internet to see what the incubation temperatures are for a pigeon, and it's different than a chicken. My plan was, well, I could go get an incubator, you know. That's what my plan was. And I found out that the incubation temperature, the low end, is 98.6 degrees, human temperature. It's fucking crazy. I read that, I go, oh, we can pull this off. So that's exactly what we did. Solar, as you see, Solar's getting all her plumage and everything in. Picking at seeds early, and if I've fed pigeons for years, baby pigeons that get orphaned, many times they get knocked out of the nest. Like the pigeons, a pigeon will lay 2 eggs, and a lot of times, like in the wild, they'll just go with the biggest pigeon because there's only so much to eat. So they'll knock out the little one and just feed the big one. So those are the ones that like I'll help out and feed. So I'm used to feeding pigeons, baby pigeons, from about 10 days on. You know, that's usually when you're seeing them on the ground. They can't survive at that point. They can't survive at that point. They're just knocked out, you know, to be left and die. So right now, feeding Solar is no problem, supplemental feeding, because I know Solar's eating some. Now, Chip and Casper have a, is it a clutch? I don't know what you would consider it, but they have 2 babies, and I'll show those in my next video. I'll get those down because Chip isn't sitting on an egg, but Chip thinks that she's sitting on an egg. Remy, same thing. I take the eggs away. You know, I don't want any more pigeon babies. We already have 3 in the house, and I don't need a bunch of pigeons. We already have, you know, 5 pigeons. That's plenty. So I took Chip's egg away, and she's still sitting on it. That's what they do, Remy. You know, I took her egg away yesterday, and she still thinks that she's sort of sitting on it. They'll go back to the nest. But when that happens, you know, there's only one pigeon taking care of the babies at that point, the male pigeon, and that's Casper. Casper's loading up on food. If I have to, I will feed, you know, supplemental feed Optimus and Bumblebee. That's their kid, you know, because it is just Casper, and this might be a point where, you know, Casper might just want to feed one of them. I doubt that, but I'm monitoring the situation, making sure that both Optimus and Bumblebee are cool. But this is Chip. She's a hybrid pigeon human, probably the only known one in existence. She's way smarter than a normal pigeon, way smarter, and my guess is that she will grow up and probably be a superhero. So we will do videos on her, you know, just astonishing feats of strength and intelligence. Look at her. How could she not be a hybrid human? Look, she even looks sort of human. Who's she look like? See what I'm saying? Look, we have the same eyeballs. Telling ya. She has my DNA by osmosis. It's the truth. Honestly, this is one of the friendliest pigeons I've ever known. I don't know if she was picking up my voice when I was holding her in the egg. You know, I don't know. Or if it is that human DNA. She's great. I never had to worry about, they say, like, as you get closer to the egg hatching, you want to increase humidity. That was never a problem. And I think that they're sort of talking about if you use an incubator. We were using a bird most of the time. But I never saw it as a problem because I was holding the egg and my hand would sweat. So when I would candle the egg, I could see that humidity was never a problem. It wasn't. It was never a problem. So, do you understand what I'm saying? Look at how cute she is. I'm the only known pigeon dad in existence, too. I'm the only known human that has helped incubate a bird egg with human warmth. She's cute as shit. She's a great looking bird. I love the crap out of her. I do. She's very much like Remy. I don't know if it's a he or a she, honestly. But she is smaller. Optimus and Bumblebee. Optimus is real big. I think he's a male. And Bumblebee's small. I think that that's a female. But I have no idea if this is a male or a female. I'm just assuming that it's a female. But she's very much like Remy in that, like, if I'm laying down to go to sleep, she's running over and she wants to sit on my chest or on my shoulder, like while I'm laying down, and just sit there and sleep with me. Sometimes she's starting to sleep by my face and stuff, like Remy. It's a hybrid pigeon human. The only known one. That's right. It's probably the most expensive bird in the entire world. And you're asking, well, how much would I sell her for? You don't have enough money. And I just want to say this real quick. You people that have those human children, I know you're jealous. Because my baby can fly, and my baby's super smart. Your baby screams and is probably going to grow up and hate you. Not this baby. This is my pigeon baby, and I'm the only pigeon dad in existence, and this is the only human hybrid pigeon in existence. And she's not for sale. So don't think you can offer me millions, because I'm not going to take it. Look at that bird. She's pretty cool. She's getting some green in on her neck. She's awesome. There was a period at about day 16 where she's got long legs. She's a long-legged pigeon. Her mother, not biological mother, is a Budapest tumbler, and they have long legs. So she looked a lot like an ostrich. She did. Now she's a pigeon. Human hybrid. And I do know that people would want to buy her because people have offered. Sorry, $300,000 isn't quite enough. You don't have enough money to buy Solar. Oh, Solar's name? She was born during the eclipse. Born on that day, she hatched right when the eclipse came over the eastern United States. That's why she's named Solar. You're jealous. You can't have her. Say goodbye, Solar. Bye. It's me, it's Solar. Fuck, she talks. I told you she was smart. She talks. Good girl, Solar.